muss ich das Mikrofon wieder hier hinnehmen. Ja, ich bin's wieder. Ich bin wieder am Start, Leute. Was für Among Us? Nein, ich spiele doch nicht Among Us. Minecraft live mit Elite Lonewolf. So. Viel besser. So, dann starten wir mal Minecraft auf. Also nicht normales Minecraft, ne? Wir spielen all the mods. Let's go. Das braucht wahrscheinlich recht lange zum Aufstarten und so, also ja. Oh, scheiße, ist das kalt. Ich muss kurz das Fenster schließen. So.
Psst. Wechseln Sie jetzt Ihr Internet zu Swisscom und wir...
What's happening, guys? I'm Tech Source. Welcome to Setup Wars episode 228, the show where we show off some of the best and most creative setups in the world. If you guys want to be part of the show, you know what to do. Make sure to watch the video link down below. But with that said, sit back, relax, because it's time for Setup Wars. If you like saving money, you're gonna love today's sponsor, ShopTagger. It's an app and Chrome extension that uses clever tech to ensure you never miss a price drop or a coupon code. I'm always shopping around for PC parts for my budget builds on the channel, so saving money on each purchase easily adds up for me. Lots of PC parts are overpriced right now, like the Ryzen 5 5600X, so I use ShopTagger to notify me when the price drops so I can buy them. You simply visit their website or the Google Chrome store and add it to your Chrome web browser. Afterwards, you can visit any of your favorite retailers and start saving items into your list, and ShopTagger will notify you via email or mobile push when either the price drops, there is a coupon code, or if the item goes back in stock. This is especially useful right now in the PC market, considering a lot of the new PC parts are only available on the web, so having the extension is a must. So if you want to save as much money as possible while shopping or get notified when something comes back in stock, then you got to check out ShopTagger. We got a 24-inch from Acer on the left side for multitasking, while the main monitor is a 24-inch from AOC. Sadly, the vertical monitor doesn't work, but he's working on fixing that. I like how he used the Game Over light sign to cover the monitor mount in the middle. For peripherals, Bodar is rocking a Redragon Karura 2 keyboard paired with the Yankee gaming mouse. And for audio, he's got an SPC SM900 microphone hooked up to a boom arm with a couple of floor speakers and a Logitech G332 headset. I think the way he combined both of the wall shelves was pretty clever, adding one on each side to stay symmetrical and a longer single shelf in the middle as a bridge between them. This is not only a creative way to add a bit of personalization, but it also offers tons of extra space for storage without crowding the desk itself. That, in combination with the cool wall decoration, amplifies this setup's presentation. Cables seem to be managed pretty good thanks to the IKEA Signum rack, and it looks like even his doggo approves. Finally powering the setup is a gaming PC featuring the i5-10600K and the NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti. I can't really tell if this is a pre-built or if it's custom made, but that case looks pretty sweet. I've actually never seen that before.
Why don't you follow your dreams?
There's definitely a lot of work that still needs to be done in this setup, and that's a good thing considering it is your hobby to upgrade. That should definitely keep you busy for a while. Thank you, Bodar, for entering. Up next is Chong and his super clean setup that took him nearly 4 years to build. He's a content creator from Arizona that uses the setup for gaming and video editing. I just gotta start off and say that I'm loving the presentation already. He kept everything perfectly balanced with those wall-mounted lightsabers as a centerpiece, which looks so badass at night. He built that setup on that super wide 98-inch Carl B countertop with a few Alex drawers for support. He definitely has all the space to do whatever he wants, as well as future upgradability. He does everything on a single 34-inch ultra-wide monitor from Alienware that he mounted to the desk. And for peripherals, he's using the wireless Basilisk Ultimate Gaming Mouse and a sweet drop-out laser keyboard with Mito laser keycaps. By the way, I love the Darth Vader Artisan keycap you added in the corner. Definitely complements the lightsabers you have on the wall. And of course, I gotta appreciate the amazing cable work from the keyb and mouse pad. Adding a small black raceway to hide the wires was a subtle yet very effective way on managing those cables without having to mod your desk. In fact, that is the main method for Chong's cable management, the super thin cable raceway that he uses to channel all the wires from one side of the desk to the other, using nothing but Velcro straps to keep them under the desk. A very unusual way of doing that, but still very effective. For audio, he does have a nice selection of gear. We got the Bose Companion 3 speakers for mostly consuming media, but he also has 2 sets of headphones hanging underneath the desk. The Sennheiser Game 1 for gaming and the HDs for editing videos. The PC powering this epic setup is a custom black and red build inside the Phanteks Evolve X case. It's equipped with an i9-7960X and a GTX 1080 Ti. However, he is planning on picking up an RTX 3090 to add to his custom loop later down the line. You know, I've seen a lot of setups on the show that also have collectibles, but don't really spend the time to organize them or display them properly. But Chong over here went the extra mile. There's just something so satisfying about the way he organized all of his figurines and collectibles. Take the car models for example. Look how they all fit perfectly in that TV stand using the correct size glass boxes. Really great use of space, and you can definitely tell there was some planning involved. Such an awesome setup, Chong. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and I can't wait to see your new PC build. Up next is Hamad and his stunning, one-of-a-kind, epic gaming studio. He didn't really specify what he does for a living other than being a businessman, but he is from a small town called Manama on Bahrain, I hope I'm saying that correctly, which is really close to Saudi Arabia and Qatar. So Hamad actually has a bit of a story behind this setup. His original setup got burned down back in April 28th, which nearly took his life. His air conditioning unit exploded while he was asleep, but thankfully he woke up from the noise and rushed to the roof of his home, where he was later saved. But sadly, the fire destroyed his entire studio and pretty much half of his home. The most important thing here is that he was safe. I always say that you can replace your things, but you can't replace your life. Hamad always dreamed about having a nice setup, and that fire didn't stop him from achieving that goal. He started to slowly rebuild his studio into what it is today. What made me really happy is that he told me through DMs that my show was what inspired him to build a setup in the first place, and that's really awesome to hear. One of the things that drew my attention to the studio is all the custom work he has put into everything. The first things that caught my attention were the custom ceiling lights he installed and that massive white acoustic panels with built-in RGB lighting. At this point, my curiosity has definitely peaked, but let's backtrack a little bit and start off with his main battle station. This is how much of a baller Hamad really is. So check this out. He's rocking 3 desks, a smaller one tucked underneath a larger one, and a corner desk on the side holding up his third monitor and custom.
I've always loved sci-fi and the idea of being right on the
PC. He's rocking a beautiful Samsung Odyssey G9, a 49-inch super ultra-wide monitor in the center that's sandwiched by a 34-inch ultra-wide and a 27-inch 240Hz Alienware monitor for multitasking, because why wouldn't you want a 240Hz monitor for browsing the web? I mean, sure, he has an Xbox One hooked up to the monitor as well, but it's still overkill considering it won't be able to take advantage of anything over 120 Hz. For peripherals, he's rocking 2 sets of keyboard and mice. We got the Razer Huntsman Mini in white on the top and the Logitech G915 TKL keyb on the bottom, sandwiched by the Razer Tartarus keypad and the Logitech G203 Prodigy gaming mouse. Moving on to audio, he's using 2 sets of JBL Pulse 4 speakers to add a bit of RGB in the setup, but he does own a few pair of headsets for gaming. The AKG K702s hanging from the desk and the Corsair Virtuosos sitting on top of the custom PC. Hamad also makes YouTube videos and streams, hence why he's rocking some streaming gear as well. We got a few Elgato key lights, a couple of microphones, one of which is the Shure SM7B attached to a boom arm, and the Elgato Stream Deck Mini. Considering this is an island style setup, we did a pretty good job with the cable management, using a bunch of spiral sleeves to hide the wires in the back. This entire setup is being powered by his custom gaming PC that's equipped with the Asus RTX 2080 Ti and the Ryzen Threadripper 3960X, which is a 24-core, 48-thread processor. Damn, that is a beast. Right beside his setup is a tiny racing sim setup hooked up to a 32-inch 4K monitor, and then we have his entertainment area on the opposite side of the room, where he kicks back to watch movies and games on his console. I gotta give this man some respect for managing to snag a PS5. I'm actually super jealous. That's like the only thing missing in my life right now. He's got quite the collection of figurines as well, but what I like most about this section of his room is the way he aligned the wall shelves with the nanoleaf panels. This entire room is honestly like a playground for any kid or grown-up for that matter. Tons of fun things to do to pass time. I would without a doubt dub this the ultimate gamer's paradise. The fact that Hamad didn't let a fire get in the way of building his dream setup just shows his dedication and passion. Passion for gaming, and for that reason alone, I have mad respect for the guy. Shifting gears a bit, we have a setup more on the simplistic side by Matthew. He's an aircraft mechanic from Switzerland that uses the setup for gaming and streaming. The setup is built on top of 3 Alex units and 2 custom wooden countertops that he stained and lacquered, which offers a nice contrast. Contrast between the white and green color scheme. I just love how the matrix wallpaper spills from the top 65-inch TV onto the bottom 49-inch super ultra wide from Samsung. I also like that you use wall raceways to cover the cables going down, but in all honesty, you could have used just one slightly bigger raceway to cover all the cables instead of going with 2. The rest of the cables under the desk are managed perfectly. Excellent use of raceways to channel and hide all the wires going across the desk. For peripherals, Matthew stuck with mostly Razer gear, which I guess is fitting considering the color scheme. We got the Razer Huntsman Elite keyboard paired with the Tartarus Pro keypad and a wireless Basilisk Ultimate gaming mouse. The setup doesn't have any speakers, but he does use 2 sets of gaming headsets from Razer, of course. One for his desktop PC and the other for his Razer laptop. The main desktop setup is being powered by his behemoth of a system inside the Corsair Obsidian 1000D case. It's running on a 9900K with 32 gigs of RAM and the MSI RTX 2080 Ti in a custom loop. At first I thought he was running 2 separate loops when I saw both the reservoirs, but he actually has them in a single loop instead. I love that Matthew still found a way to include Nanoleaf panels in his setup. Even though both walls were occupied, he was smart enough to pick up the corner adapters and still make it work. Well done on a beautiful setup, and thank you for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Nathan from Arkansas and his beautiful TIE Fighter gaming setup. He's an IT tech support that spends his free time relaxing in this oasis that he built himself. You guys probably don't remember this, but he was actually in episode 152 back in October 2018. He was the one rocking the Glass Island setup. After 2 years and 4 iterations later, we are presented with this masterpiece, an Egyptian mythology-themed TIE Fighter gaming setup, a sentence I never thought I would ever say. He's rocking a single 49-inch super ultrawide that's being sandwiched by dual 32-inch monitors in vertical mode. Nathan's monitor layout is perfect because if you're gonna use a 49-inch ultrawide as your main, the only option for secondary displays is in vertical mode, just like what Nathan did. Because if you flip those two outer displays horizontally, then it would just be too wide, making them completely useless. Another option is to stack one of the monitors on the top, but either way, you have to go vertical for any additional monitors you add on the side. The desk he's using for the setup is a 98-inch bar Kubota countertop from IKEA that's being raised by a few capital legs attached to a couple Alex drawers. For peripherals, he's using the Varmillo Panda keyboard and a Logitech G602 mouse with a matching Varmillo Panda mousepad, looking very clean. Now, since the main display is mounted against the wall, he's able to use the space below to store some of his audio gear. But can we take a moment and acknowledge that microphone boom arm placement? He's got that beautifully tucked away underneath the monitor when he's not using it. I might have to steal that idea for a future setup upgrade. Cables are managed perfectly thanks to the giant power strip he mounted underneath the desk and a few cable sleeves to wrap it all together. Bonus points for also using a painted wall raceway to cover the cables for your Nanoleaf panels. And finally, wrapping up with his awesome custom water-cooled system equipped with the 9900K and the EVGA RTX 2080 Super. It's insane to see so much progression from the original setup 2 years ago. You definitely made some huge improvements before, and I'm absolutely loving the new direction of your setup. It's well thought out and perfectly executed with a bit of personality to separate it from the rest. Thank you, Nathan, for sharing this with us, and it's always a pleasure to have you back on the show. And that wraps up today's episode. As always, let me know in the comment section down below which of these setups was your
Ultimative Glanz. WC Frisch Blau Kraftaktiv. Mit 50% mehr Glanz. Nur von WC Frisch. Psst. Wechseln Sie jetzt Ihr Internet zu Swisscom und wir schenken Ihnen 1 Jahr lang das beliebteste TV der Schweiz und Netflix. Aber nur bis zum 5. April.
What's happening, everyone? It's your boy Ed from TechSource. Welcome back to Setup Wars episode 227, Clean Edition. That's right, we're going to be taking a look at some clean setups on the show. And if you guys want to participate, make sure to watch the video link down below. But with that said, say it with me. Sit back, relax, because it's time for Setup Wars. If you guys want to pick up a fresh Windows 10 Pro CD key, then make sure to click the link below and visit yourcdkey.com. You guys can grab one for less than $15 using my code TS20 at checkout. And his extremely clean setup. I could stare at this for days. He's a business analyst from New Zealand that built this awesome entertainment room for himself and his family. On one side is a tiny little arcade setup with a few wall shelves holding up collectibles, and on the other side of the room is the main battle station. He's got triple displays mounted against the desk, which consists of custom countertop and the IKEA drawers for support. I'm absolutely loving what he did with his wall using different color acoustic panels. So check this out. There's a company out there called Autex Composite, and they basically sell rolls of acoustic panels in a bunch of different colors. You pick the color you like and the length you want. After they arrive, you can cut them into any design or shape you want. I think Brent absolutely killed it with his tricolor design, and this is definitely an awesome way of not only soundproofing your studio or workspace, but also adding a bit of decoration at the same time to spice up your setup. He kept the colors neutral so that it blends in perfectly with his setup's color scheme, and I feel like there is a nice balance between all the colors in this setup. For peripherals, he's rocking the Asus ROG Claymore keyboard paired with the Gladius 2 mouse. This setup is so clean that it doesn't even have speakers. Brent either uses the audio from the monitors or he puts on the GSP 500 headset. The PC powering the main setup is a beautiful custom water-cooled system in the Lianli O11 Dynamic. We got the 8700K paired with an Asus Strix 3080. But I got a feeling you're gonna want to pick up the new 3080 White series after it's out. The setup actually has two more stations. There's a laptop powered one in the corner and another one hooked up to a smaller PC, which I don't have any pictures of, sadly. Cable management, as expected, is flawless. I can only guess the amount of cable extensions that were used to channel all the cables from one side of the table to the other. No raceways were used, but he did hook up plenty of cable clips to help with the routing all the way into the cable rack on the other side. I think Brent did an awesome job on the planning and execution of this setup. I like that he didn't let the acoustic panels get in the way of installing Nanoleaf panels as well. Such an awesome and creative setup to start the show. Thank you, Brent, for entering. Coming in number 2 is Graham, making a return from episode 226. See how much of a difference the desk makes? Even though he had 4 monitors previously, his current setup looks so much better. This was the point I was trying to make before, that choosing a right desk makes all the difference. Anyways, Graham's new setup is looking fresh with that new Carbly countertop, which also matches the wall shelves and fits in a lot better than the previous teacher desk he had. I'm loving the rustic vibe of this new setup. It looks so good with all of that greenery. You know, some setups definitely go overboard with the fake plants, but Graham did a great job spacing it out, and even the wall shelves have some for that consistency. He completely ditched all 4 of his previous displays for 2 new 27-inch monitors, a 144Hz from Dell for gaming and a 75Hz from Asus as the secondary. He's using the same Logitech G305 mouse, but it looks like he built himself a new custom keyboard. We got these
Okay.
.60% walnut case, Gateron yellow switches, and 68 gray dye sub keycaps from KBD fans. I just love how the case matches the countertop with a black mouse pad in between for that added contrast. Nicely done. For audio, he's still rocking the same BEHR dynamic headphones, but he picked up a new mic and speakers. Unlike the last setup where he hooked up the speakers to the back of the monitors, these new JBL ones are too big for that, so he placed them sideways on the desk instead. Had the desk been a bit wider, you could have sandwiched your monitors with them, or if you really want to, move the desk to the right a bit and add floor stands on both sides of your desk. But personally, I think it looks better this way. Just make sure to add some acoustic panels under it. Cables are managed perfectly with the help of some raceways and bonus points on adding that pencil drawer under the desk for that extra storage. One thing that hasn't changed is the gorgeous custom PC. Other than a few extra leaves in there, we still got the 9600KF and a GTX 1660 Super, which he painted in white to stay consistent to the theme. Also, more bonus points on that clean cable management for the PC. Graham's setup is the prime example that you don't need any flashy RGB to build such a good looking and clean setup. Thank you so much for being an active member on the Discord, and thanks again for coming back on the show. Coming in number 3 is someone that didn't list their name, so I'm just gonna call her or him unknown. Now normally this submission would get automatically rejected because of that, but I'm feeling a bit jolly, so I'll make an exception. There is no doubt this setup is really clean and minimalistic. Hell, even his chair is minimalistic. We got a mostly white color scheme on top of the IKEA Lindemann tabletop and Alex Jor combo. For peripherals, he kept things simple with the RK61 keyboard with custom keycaps and the Razer Atheris wireless mouse. I can't help but feel like your monitor is positioned really low. It doesn't seem like you're taking advantage of that flexible arm at all. If you were to tilt the monitor slightly up, it would make a huge difference as the angle of the monitor wouldn't cause as much strain to your eyes and neck. Cables are beautifully managed under the desk with the help of some big and small raceways, which is actually the first time I'm seeing on the show. And I love that he went with white raceways to stick with the white theme that No Name was going for. I'm curious actually, if No Name is that dedicated to the white color scheme to use white raceways, why didn't he go with a white monitor arm or bother skinning either the laptop or monitor in white as well? I feel like there were some missed opportunities there, especially considering the PC is also mostly white. You got the Ryzen 5 3600 paired with the RX 5700 XT. Such a clean build. I also noticed you stated in the notes that you are using the integrated speakers from the Scepter monitor. Are you good, bro? You can find a bunch of quality headphones for cheap.
Nur so nebenbei, das ist immer so, wenn man All the Mods neu aufstartet. Lex. In All the Mods gibt es glücklicherweise Pain Miner oder wie auch immer. Or Excavation oder so, keine Ahnung. Ja, ich habe gerade einen Block abgebaut und habe damit praktisch den ganzen Bau gebaut. Es gibt nirgendwo mehr Sinn, aber ihr wisst wohl, was ich meine. Hau ab, Skelett, hau ab. Nein, bitte kein Sumpf. Hilfe! Hilfe! Auf Hilfe! Okay. Dann muss ich jetzt hier runter. So. Oh. Und finde natürlich instant mit Eisen. That is hilarious. Jo, und dann ist nicht mal wenig Eisen, ne? Ich gehe kurz aufs Klo. Okay, ich bin wieder da. Oh, ouch. Guckt, wenn ich hier Furnace eingebe, es gibt verschiedene Furnace. Den normalen hier, den ich gerade habe, den Iron, den Gold, den Dia und den Emerald. Dann geht es noch weiter auf Obsidian. Und dann kann man noch den Netherite Furnace machen. Und dann aus dem kann man dann Althemorium machen, also Althemorium, Vibranium und aus. Ja. Ich zeige euch mal, was Althemorium und Vibranium ist und so. Wie soll ich es erklären? Es vom Mod Iron ETS, ETF ist vom Mod Althemorium. Ja, dieser Mod bringt so gesagt 3 neue Ingots rein, also Ores, Althemorium, Vibranium und Unobtainium. Zuerst muss man Althemorium bekommen, das ist in der Overworld. Dann kann man im Nether Vibranium kriegen und dann im End Unobtainium. Ja. Die kann man essen. Die kann man einfach essen. Ich brauche mehr davon. Abhauen. Danke fürs Sterben. Ganz komische Sache. Es sagt mir nicht, ich bin hier auf einer Insel. Nein, bin ich nicht. Oh, Gott sei Dank. Ich brauche eine Village. Das ist momentan das Wichtigste. Auf meinem Main, wo ich aber offline, also off-cam spiele, habe ich instant eine Village gefunden. Und das Geile an dieser Village war, da war sogar noch ein Ruin Portal dabei. So eine Village mit einem Ruin Portal. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Oh, Mineshaft. Aber das geht runter. Ich bin mal ab so einem Mineshaft von Fallschaden verreckt. Ja, das war nicht so eine schöne Erinnerung. Ich muss mir erstmal einen Ort. Oh, Okay. Airnote oder keine Ahnung. Ja, in All the Mods gibt es noch einen Mod namens Elemental Craft. Da kann man sogenannte Elemente finden. Also die Nodes, wie das gerade, was ich da gerade gefunden habe. Wenn ihr euch fragt, wieso dass ich wusste, dass das da ist, ich habe mal aus Versehen das ganze Teil hier abgebaut, weil ich die Blöcke wollte. Aber es sind auch nice Blocks. Also hinter jedem, unter jedem. Gut, da muss los. Ich bin weg. Ich bekomme einfach ein Emerald raus. Nice. Alter, diese Biene hat mir gerade einen halben Herzinfarkt eingejagt, Alter. Ich bin fast gestorben. Oh, was ist denn das? Was ist das für ein Baum? Ja, was seid denn ihr für was seid denn ihr für zwei geile Bäume? Jo, Bruder muss los. Der gibt mir mehr Saplings als keine Ahnung. Australien. Das brauche ich nicht. So, jetzt sollte ich die Schafe da unten killen. Ja, es sind 3 weiße. Oh Gott sei Dank. Ich baue mich hier auf. So, ein paar Chests, eine Iron. Es ist nicht mal lustig. Fragt euch nicht. Mein Humor ist kaputt. Genauso wie mein PC. Nee, war nur Spaß. jetzt Bild oder One. Hier Stone Wand. Was diese Stone Wand macht. Glaubst, das muss ich euch nicht erklären. Ja. Zu wild, Bruder. Hier ist meine Meinung. Natürlich habe ich keine Fackel, weil ich noch nie in dieser ganzen Welt keine Kohle gefunden habe. Ja. Ach, das ist Spruce. Ja moin, ich habe einfach Infinite Spruce. Dann kann ich das da hinten instant wieder abbauen. Ich brauche das nicht. Spruce ist 30 mal schöner. Hier ist ja auch Spruce. Was? Das funktioniert halt einfach.